Some of the best things you learn as a creator come from the moments you got it wrong. Welcome to Titan Sound Sessions. This is where we explore the process behind creation. So today we're talking about mistakes and lessons, the moments creators get wrong, what those moments reveal, and how the lesson can change the way you move going forward. But I'm not going to have this conversation alone because today I have a very special guest on Titan Sound Sessions, my friend, my guy, Yuneer Gainz.
I'm here. Happy to be here. You know what I mean? And all those things are true, man. I think that, especially in music, it's hard to find people that you can consider a friend. So I'm grateful to be considered that. I consider you one as well as just one of my favorite collaborators. So it's an honor.
That's a fact, bro. And when I say that's mutual, I mean that's mutual. I still got to put out the content that we have from My Soul.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
I still got to put that out.
Man, that record is so special. You ask anybody when it comes to Afrobeats, like I don't dabble in it too much, only because I just the fundamentals of it, right? And I'm sure we'll get into this more. Like I think my creative superpower is I always know the fundamentals of any genre. And so for whatever reason, when it comes to Afro beats, I'm always like, yeah, I know the fundamentals, but I also know that the way you enunciate, the way you do certain things, those are things that I don't naturally do. So I've always been like, I'll write for somebody, but I won't put out a record. But what made yours special was the fact that it was a blend, this beautiful blend. And I think, honestly, since then, I'm starting to see other creatives now starting to blend Afro beats with something else, you know what I mean? But you were the first person I got to witness that with. And people say it all the time, yeah, it took me like 10 minutes to write the record. I want to say, usually with me with a record, it takes about an hour because we're talking about writing the record, recording the record, mixing the record, all that stuff. And I like to enjoy my records.
Yes.
Like if I make something and I think it's hard, I'm playing that for like 15 minutes. Like, oh, you hear this part? This part is crazy. And I just remember just saying, my soul still, my soul. It was something about how I was saying it. It like, I think every creative, whether you're on keys, guitar, or if you're a vocalist, when you play a note and it just touches you like past your heart, somewhere else.
About it.
And I just remember as soon as I heard how my voice came out, my soul, like if you listen to the way I enunciate everything in that song, it's a different space entirely.
Yeah.
So that song is super special. I'm just glad I got to, if I ever had the opportunity to do it, it was with you. So it was cool.
Man, it was a blessing for me, for sure. I'm not even gonna hold you. Because when you sent it back, the fact that you went that route, because I named the beat Soul Still. That's something that creators do, especially if you're making a track, you'll name it something random, like whatever comes to your head. And the fact that you took that and turned that into an actual concept, that just blew me away. I was like, oh yeah, we got one. Yeah, we got one.
I've always been that type of writer too. Like I know producers will always be like, yo, here's a joint. Yo, you don't gotta use that title. But I'm always like, nah, but why did you title it that? Like, cause clearly if you made the production and you're presenting it to me, that means there's something that you feel already before I even collaborate with you. You know what I'm saying? And I know for me, writing is different in a sense of most of the successful writers that I know, all my colleagues and friends, shout out to Cadence one time. Like I know a lot of people like to topic first, melody, and then get into it. With me, writing songs is just whatever conversation I'm having that day. So, the first lyrics came out and I just remember saying, my soul still, and it was the way I said it. And then because of the wording of seeing what you had on for the title, it was just in my subconscious regardless. So, I gotta thank you for that, because it wouldn't have been that if I didn't have that in my subconscious already. So, it just, perfect collaboration.
So I'm a press on that for a second. I think that's perfect for where this session is going, right? If we're talking about mistakes and lessons, I know it took mistakes and lessons in order for you to get to that point where you can see a concept and then take it to where it has to go, and to be able to catch a note, a riff, and be able to build off of that into a story, right? Being that Titan Sound Sessions is all about impacting aspiring creators. You know, we don't want them building in the dark, the future of what this thing is. We're trying to take everything that we learned and pay it forward, pass it on down, and put them in a better position than we were in. So when we think about mistakes and lessons, not losses, lessons, right? What are some of the early mistakes that you can recall starting your journey?
Some of the early mistakes, man. I will say this. I think one of the earliest mistakes that I can attribute to who I am now, because it gave me a big lesson, was trying to be who I am now back then without going through the journey. I think that a lot of times, especially in our community, you want to be something, right? You got this talent, got this idea. I want to do it, and I think that a lot of times we take for granted that all these great things, it's not a snap of a finger. It's going through the process. I remember growing up and seeing a Linkin Park had an album and it had a DVD with it, and I thought Mike Shinoda made he summed it up perfectly. He was like, these great records aren't just great records because we say today we're making a great record. It's, you start creating something and you listen to it and you go, that'd be all right, that's cool. And then you see what happens once you're finished with it, and then the people tell you what it is. I think that for me, I was so busy looking for acceptance that I would just let people, because I felt like they were more ahead of me, be like, oh yeah, nah, you can't do that. And then me going, all right, cool, I won't do that. When in all reality, the thing that they were stopping me from doing is what makes me who I am now, right? So like I was saying before, like when I write songs, and I'm just now getting to this space right now, like right as we're talking, right as they get to see this, I'm in a space right now where I know who I am. And I think that the most important part about creating art is you got to know who you are first. You can't just try to be something else. And I'm not saying I try to be someone else. It's just that it was brand new. I didn't know what this was. Like I don't know where this skill comes from. How come I can make music this way, but nobody else does? Does that mean that I'm not good? Does that mean that I lack the fundamentals? But everybody has their own superpower, their own genius. And I truly believe that genius is nothing more than the complexity of recognizing something simple. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
So, for instance, this podcast right now, right? There's complexity looking at all this, at something you found so simple, in the sense of, okay, this is what I want, I need to go build it. To somebody else, they're gonna be like, that's it? You just go out and just build it? How do we function that way? But that's what makes you a genius. And so for me, bring it back full circle, I will say this. My early mistake, which was a great lesson, was not recognizing that I had genius. And I think that all creators, when you first start, just because you want to means there is a genius. You have a genius because you're able to see something simple, right? When we all were young, wanted to do music. It wasn't that we sat there and was like, the grand scheme of it all, like, how can I do, this is so impossible. It was the fact that we saw the simplicity of it. When you watch Prince and you were like, man, somebody else might go, man, it's crazy how he's singing like that. But we're the ones that go and say, yeah, I wonder if I could do that. That's the simplicity part. Now you got to build that genius up. And I think that once you start to recognize the genius in you, that's when the lessons start. And that's how you're able to start moving forward and able to go, oh, it's not that I like Michael Jackson because it's something I could never do. It's I like Michael Jackson because he's shown me something that I might be able to do one day. Same thing with Teddy Riley's, the same thing with, even the people right now that are out. People see Chris Brown, they're like, oh my gosh, so many songs. But then there's somebody right now who's a new creative, someone young, someone starting off, and they're going, I want to do that. How do I do that? And they're recognizing their genius. It's first stages.
Yeah, moving too fast, thinking that your talent's enough, not understanding the business.
Man, that's like the biggest part. Because you definitely got to know the business after all that. I think that's also something that is a lesson for me too. Because I was running around. I was one of those artists that was running around like doing showcases with records that I hadn't even recorded yet. Like we used to go to New York and I'd be in the back of the SUV like, all right, so when this part comes up, you say this, and then when this part happens. Not realizing like, yo, you got to record these records, bro. You got to record them so that you can sell them. And then understanding that aspect too, like, or if I'm selling them, well, it's not just me selling them. I'm selling them for the people who I collaborated with on this project. Now you got to do your splits. Well, what are splits? And I think, first of all, splits is a whole other conversation too, because I think that's another part that like, you know, can always mess up the business. You know, I know that in hip hop and R&B, a lot of times in splits, it's, you know, you get this much because this is how much you contributed. I'm in a space right now for myself personally, in which I'm implementing with all my releases from here on out. If you're involved, you're a part of it. Because it's the little things, man.
Sir.
It's the little things. You might have said, aha, and that made me think of a key structure. And if a part of you is involved in the record somehow, yes, you're a part of it. Because everything works together. Everything works together.
It's crazy that it has to be called pop splits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I wish everybody just adopts that moving forward. It makes, like you said, it makes the process easy. It makes working on a song easy, knowing I don't have to fight for every square inch. If we're coming in, understand that everybody's a part of the record, equally from the record. And I take it a step further. I include the engineers on that.
Yeah. Shout out to Mono the Maker. Yep.
Yeah, I include the engineers, if you know, whether you know mixing, mastering, especially recording now, especially if you are the master at your craft and you're helping me get a tone that I couldn't do on my own. I'm not talking about a recording engineer just come in and press the button.
Yeah, just the tracking engineers.
Just so I don't have to do it.
There's some of those out there too that they just track.
I'm talking about a recording engineer that really knows their stuff, mic placement, the right mic for the right occasion. Those things, like, yeah, you making a difference in the record, so you should participate.
And you got engineers who also are great vocal producers.
Yeah.
Engineers that are great producers where you'll come in with your own sound, have your stems and everything laid out, and they're like, yo, I think you're trying to achieve this sound. And they'll tweak that hi-hat or tweak that snare, and now it's like a whole different thing. So yeah,
that's composing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's composition.
And I think that you shouldn't be penalized. I think that's really what splits have become. It's like you're being penalized. Oh, you're only an engineer, so you know you're not a real producer. Like, no, they're a producer too. Like, oh, you're only a writer. You're not a top liner. But if I did not create these lyrics, what rhythm will you have? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you only play drums, so you're not a real producer. Like, no, don't penalize the people. Like,
nah, we gotta keep it simple. If you're a part of the song, you're either everybody's a songwriter. Technically, everybody's a songwriter, so you're literally writing the melody, or you're singing the melody, or you're writing the music, you're arranging the music. If you're part of the record, you're part of the record.
Yeah.
Just keep that simple. Even in that's a mistaken lesson learned, how to manage that process of it all. What's a mistake that taught you something you never forgot?
A mistake that taught me something I never forgot. I would say, how do I word this so that I can continue to have business? I would say, working with majors, you get a lot of lessons. I worked on a record for a major artist at the time, and I sat on the phone for 4 hours with their A&R trying to negotiate me out of a percentage of the record. And the record was going to be very big, very popular. It was already tied to different entities and markets. And the A&R was trying to explain to me like, yo, you don't get this because you didn't do much. And I had to really sit there and be calm and keep it Brooklyn. A lot of people don't like that when I negotiate with them because they're like, he's saying a lot and I know there's some undertone, but he's super calm. I don't understand how you do that. But yeah, like they were trying to explain to me what I deserve and what I don't deserve. And then I had to take a second and just be like, first of all, none of y'all was in the room. So how could you even explain that? And then they put me on the phone with the actual artist. So now I have to kind of reveal what I really did without making the artist feel like they were less than. And that was a big lesson for me because I never really had to fight like that. But I fought that whole, many hours on the phone. And I had to be like, so when you came up with this part, how did we do this? And I kept saying, how did we? Because that was my whole purpose of being there in that room. It was a collaboration. I am the one that pulled this from or extracted this from what you did on the fly and then structured it, gave this melody, corrected this punchline, corrected this wittiness and things of that nature. And I think the lesson in that is never accept what they give you if that's not what you came in to buy. I know when I went to the supermarket today, I was coming in to get salad. I'm not going to then let them say, oh, you need these strawberries and you need these peppers and da 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 da. You don't want the salad. No, I came in for the salad. So let me get the salad and let me stand on business. Because the industry, and it doesn't even mean just music, just anywhere, people will try to sell you what you do not want, and you will not have what you don't negotiate for. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn that. And luckily though, I also had people on the outside that were fighting for me a lot of times. Once again, big shout out to Gainz, who took a stand for me on another record where they were trying to ensure that I was nowhere to be found credit wise. And she took it upon herself to go and say, no, I was there. He did this. And shout out to Yuneer. Yuneer did X, Y, and Z. So you have to, the lesson was, like I said, to never let them sell you what you didn't come in to buy. And then also, another lesson from that is, as much as the industry could be cruel, be yourself. Like you don't have to destroy people to get to where you want to go. You have to be elite and you have to be strong, but you don't have to destroy people. You can still do what you got to do, still have your core values and all that stuff. But just be a beast about it, man. And my way of being a beast with anybody is, I'm the elephant, right? So I'm the elephant in the room, and I'm always the person that everyone goes, why him? Why are we doing this for him? And if I don't know that for myself, then it's not gonna move forward. So you gotta know that for yourself too. Why you? Because it's you. Because you chose to do this. This is what you want to do. And I think a lot of people need to not be afraid of that. If you want to do this so badly, you make sure that whoever you're in front of, you let them know, yeah, it is me. I am this person. I am deserving of what I'm seeking. You know what I mean? I hope that answers it.
No, it does. So no, that does answer my question. And early mistakes are one thing, but the ones that stay with you usually wind up costing you something. So let's get into like the costly mistakes.
Oh, man.
Missed opportunities.
Costly mistakes. Sync and licensing is a wonderful space to be in.
Sync licensing, TV show, okay.
It's a wonderful space to be in, to have music for television, commercials, radio, all that jazz, right? How do I do this and still make money? And still keep these business relationships together.
Tread lightly.
Yeah. Right. Exclusivity. When you have these opportunities, you definitely got to know your business, right? Because that will stick with you forever. Certain places will do things in perpetuity, or hey, we will pitch your record, and if we don't land it, we still hold on to it. And you have to give us percentages if you do anything else with the record. It's your record, but if you put it out, you got to give us 50%. If you get it somewhere,
put it out where?
Put it out on DSPs, put it, things of that nature. There's situations like that, and no shade, no no shades. Whoever hears this, because I feel like there's a couple companies that are gonna be like, yo, he talking about us, but it's the truth, right? And you got to know another thing you have to take into consideration is your faith in what you do, right? If you believe in what you do, then more than likely you got to go out there and do it yourself. You can't just go and depend on or rely on somebody else, because if so, they can stake claim to that. And so now you're stuck with always having to cut somebody in that you like, man, if I just did this by myself, I wouldn't have to cut them in for nothing. They don't even deserve this right now. But, you know, that is a lesson that I've had to learn, and then now it carries with me, because there are songs out there that, you know, I should be making a whole lot more off of and doing a lot more with, but I can't because they're tied to certain people. And that's gonna come with the business. You're gonna work with people that you think one minute like, oh, this makes sense, and then you find out later on, it's not really what I want to do. And you gotta really pay attention, because if you don't, like I said, they stick with you. They're like baby fathers and baby mothers. You know what I mean? No matter what you do, they're gonna still be around no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't matter if you move 1,000,000,000,000 miles away, that's still somebody else's baby. You gotta deal with that.
So what mistake cost you the most growth, time, or clarity? Like, it can be anything. Like we think, you know, bad communication. Is it ego?
You know, I don't really have an issue with ego, luckily, because I don't.
Lack of preparation.
Lack of preparation. Ooh, that's a good one. Lack of
protecting
preparation.
the word. Not reading the room.
Yeah. Lack of preparation will definitely do it to you. And to go back and sync and licensing, right? The sync and licensing business is very quick and very swift. You'll get a brief and they'll say
2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't got the catalog to match it, you'll lose out. And I've lost out on a lot because I wasn't prepared. And I wasn't prepared. One year I wasn't prepared, and it wasn't my let me have ownership. It was my fault, because I was running and gunning for a whole year, just making records left to right, and this wonderful, great stride, and just killing. And I took my gear to a session, and it was the first time that I never loaded my gear myself. I gave the gear like, oh yeah, no, we'll put it in for, all right, cool, whatever, not thinking nothing of it. And it turns out that my laptop hit something and the battery started to swell. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't realize it at all. And I was having issues with keeping the computer on. And so I took it to Apple and didn't think nothing of it. I was like, yo, just fix it right now. Don't worry about it. I don't care. Just do what you got to do. Tell me the price, be cool, whatever. Like, all right, bam. All right, so they took it, whatever. And then they told me they had to destroy the motherboard and destroy everything in it. And I had not saved. So I lost a year and a half's worth of music.
I'm literally about to go cry in the car right now for you.
Bruh, listen, it shook me to my core, because I had no means of recording at that moment. All the deadlines I had, I butchered. And a lot of projects that I was prepping, they're all gone. There's a song that you like from me that would have never seen the light of day. And the only reason why I did was because it was the last song, because of how I felt about it. It was the last song where I printed the production and printed the vocals. And I just so happened to have it in a Dropbox because I wanted to know what I was going to do with that record. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And Titles and Headstones, which
yes,
which is gonna come back out.
And one of my most replayed songs from your catalog for sure.
I appreciate it, man. Shout out to P-Dot, man. I'm actually gonna re-release that. It's gonna be titled Nana because it should be properly titled Nana. Titles and Headstones had to do with something internally in that song, but yeah, Nana is gonna be the new title for it, and it'll see the light of day this year in its proper space. But yeah, not doing my checks and balances in terms of saving my work, that cost me dearly, and I've been fighting back from it ever since.
Yeah, and when the mistakes actually cost you something, that's when the lessons stop being theory.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
become
Yeah.
very real.
Yeah. What's a good
So,
$300,000 on that? Continue.
now these mistakes, what do they reveal? I could tell you for me, in some cases they reveal immaturity.
Mm.
Other cases they reveal some insecurities as well too. Because this is the creative space can at times it can be a very ego driven thing. Because now I want to explain to everybody why that's the case. Why would you see that? Because it's common in sports as well too. In order to be at a certain level, you have to have a belief in yourself that's almost supernatural. Because everybody else is going that way. You're daring to go the opposite way.
Yep.
And in order to do that, you have to encourage yourself, because you find yourself walking alone a lot. Even though through this podcast, we're finding that we're not alone. But you're probably alone when it comes to your close friend circle or your family member or even your acquaintances. You're going a direction opposite of the crowd. So you have to have this super belief in yourself. And sometimes the ego is birthed. It's birthed from that. And as a result, it can be a turnoff. But if you channel it the right way, it can put you in a great position. But the opposite side of that ego is the insecurities. When somebody pops your balloon, tells you that, yeah, that's not good enough.
I think for me, it's a little different because I that's been my biggest issue, is that I haven't had an ego. And I think my insecurities are loud. Because I know that I feel like I haven't gotten here the way everyone else did. So it always made me feel like I didn't know what I knew. There's an old movie, shout out to my pops, The Last Dragon. I'm definitely
Which one?
The Bruce Lee Roy.
So, time out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna clarify this right now. I don't care what nobody say. Last Dragon, Barry Gordy's Last Dragon is the greatest movie ever made. I'm 10 toes down on that. And the fact that you said, there's this old movie. Ouch.
No. I mean, listen, man, like that's shout out to my pops. It's semantics, but that movie, I think that movie, along with, and this is going to sound strange to some people, but along with The Matrix, they coexist in the same space. You have somebody that knows something, but they just don't know what it is. And it's like a reverse ego, because here's Bruce Leroy, like, I know the teachings and I know the master and and it's like he's refusing to see what's right in front of him. And to the very last moment, after everyone's saying what they're saying, only then will you find the master.
We're going to open that up. Because that one, I'm telling you, that's my favorite movie, and I could talk about Last Dragon all day. So that's actually right in pocket of where we're going with what the mistake revealed. That insecurity, that need for validation. That's what Bruce Lee was on. He was out to find some dumb boy to further his knowledge and get validation of who he is. And he said it wasn't until the end where he stopped looking outward and looked inward and started validating himself. And I resonate with that because I started to validate myself. I stopped looking for validation from others. I stopped looking for the approval from others. Me thinking I'm not there yet. I'm not good enough. No, it's just I am. And bro, I promise, soon as I started validating myself,
that's when everything changed.
Everything changed. And then once I validated myself, then everyone started to validate me after that. As soon as I stopped looking for it and like, no, I am who I know I am to be. You are.
Right.
You are. But it had to start with me validating myself first. So what you're saying, it definitely resonates for sure.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's still I think that's my biggest issue with me, is that I've yet to validate myself until now, though, I will say. Because just like I said with those movies, right? You have one instance where here's a guy who's super happy and chipper about this possibility, this endless of reaching this height and becoming this, but just not knowing if it's him or not. And then in the Matrix, you have somebody who's looking for something, but they don't know what it is. And it takes the trauma of losing, right, to find the lesson. Because you look at Bruce Leroy and Neo, both of them had to lose. Bruce Leroy with his head in the getting drowned by Sho'nuff and realizing when seeing Sho'nuff having his glow and being like, well, where's mine? I don't.
Shout out to the first Super Saiyan ever.
Oh yeah, for sure. Am I the prettiest? I the meanest. You know what I mean? But even in that, right? And then the same thing with Neo. Neo's seeing how Agent Smith now, they're able to do more than what he's able to do, and then having that tragedy strike until, they realize like, oh no, I'm who I think I am. But even still, for me, man, I'm in a space right now, finally in my life, where I think I was so busy trying to figure out how to be great and how to be good that now I'm starting to realize, for me, it's irrelevant, because anything can be good, right? Like a Toyota Camry is great, but I bought a Jeep. What's the difference? Both of them are great. I just felt like this. And so I feel with music, that's all that matters. It ain't even about whether or not you're great. It's like if I feel it. And that is now my lesson for myself. And I think that is what is allowing me to grow, is now that I'm looking to feel the music and not just be great at it. My Soul, the record I have on your project, which everybody needs to stream and purchase right now.
Appreciate that.
You know what I mean? That was something I felt. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if anybody hears it and goes, the writing style was a little, the wording was a little spaced out. Did you feel it? And for everyone who got to go to your listening event, which changed everything for me, because I'm, RL is playing, Steph is playing, all these wonderful vocalists, and I'm just a rapper, at least for me. And I know for anybody who's watching this, if you look at Double A's face right now, he's probably looking like, I've told you many a times, you're not just a rapper.
That's the truth.
But my approach is from me being an MC, and to watch everyone in that room when that song came on. Yes, when they first heard it, they didn't know what it was, they didn't understand it quite, that instant. And then after a while, just getting to the chorus, now shoulders is moving. You know what I mean? Heads bopping. The drinks is feeling good. The atmosphere is feeling good. Why does this feel like that? Why does this feel? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And when I experienced that, even though it was an event for you, it was a coming of age for me. You know what I mean? Because I recognize everybody's greatness. I recognize everybody's, I know who's who. You know what I mean? It's never been that hard for me to figure that part out. And that was a moment where I finally saw me and was like, oh, you're there too. You're able to do that too. And, but it's super challenging, man, because especially in this culture right now, whoever's watching this, like, I know when you get online, what do you always see? Everything's so hyper intense. You get the content like, shring, yeah, you want to grab this many followers and views? Come watch this and I'll show you how to, you get a whole bunch of that. Or
right.
Shring, is your music not selling that great? I can go ahead and help. Like, you're getting a whole bunch of that, and people are watching reviews and thinking, oh, if I put my music on this review and then this person says it's great, then I must be good and I must be great and I'm gonna get all this stuff. And sometimes it doesn't work out that way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I remember I entered a song into a competition, online competition, where it was supposed to be, we're gonna take the best artists in different genres and pair them together and see who makes the best songs. Mm-hmm. And they paired me with somebody in country. Now, I'm a rapper. Mm-hmm. I don't know how that's gonna work. This guy's a country artist. He done been on television already, I think on The Voice or something like that. And I'm like, well, I got a rock record I think this fire. let me pair it with it. And unfortunately, the way that it was set up, they played majority of his song, played a little bit of my song, and it was something that everyone couldn't comprehend as far as the judges. And the judges were like, yeah, I don't really like it, or, it was cool, but the writing needs to be this, or I don't heard a song like that. And that made me feel like maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I don't know great anymore. But then that same song was uploaded to Tidal and it made their editorial playlist, right? Because somebody felt it. And that's what I mean by, being good or being bad or being great. Whoever, when you're starting out to do this, you're doing it because you feel it. So always chase the feeling as opposed to being great or not. Just chase the feeling. When you really look at Mike's discography, like, to make a song like Earth Song, like, he felt that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't no like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make this perfect. No, that's how he felt. Stranger in Moscow, which I still think is one of the greatest records. I think it's one of the greatest records in his catalog because homie is beatboxing. like that whole song as a whole. Like, if you really listen to it, it got nothing to do with the wittiest, cleverest, whateverist. It is, I feel like this. A stranger in Moscow. You know what I'm saying? We talking danger. Like, if you really listen to them lyrics, he is describing how he has been feeling trapped inside of this bubble that the world now has him in, whether it was this allegation, that allegation, or that allegation, and he is going through it. And I recognize that every time he recorded a record, it was the feeling. When you see the trailer, they're like, who is it? I think it was Barry Gordy, where he was like, man, you dancing too much. Keep them shoes down. You know what I'm saying? Like, he felt it. And I just want people to, in this new era that we're in, AI included, all this other stuff, use what you got to use to get with the ideas, whatever it is. Just make sure you feel it. Because if you're trying to chase being great, 10 times out of 10, you may not reach it because you're trying to chase something that doesn't truly exist. The feeling is what exists. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan had a feeling when he got cut from his high school team. No, but I could be good. I feel like I could play this game. It wasn't about just being good. I feel it. When he played on the court, he felt it. Same thing even with, not to draw comparisons at all. Kobe, he felt like I could do that. Bron, I feel like I could do that. And now you see it in Wemby, right? If anybody watches the NBA, one thing I'm loving about seeing him is, like, call it what you want, immaturity, whatever. He feels it. He loses a game, he feels it. He's on the court with whoever the best is, and he dunks on somebody or he shoots, he feels it.
There's a passion for the game.
Passion for the game. And you got to have passion for the music. You have to have a passion for it because not everybody's going to like it and not everybody's going to even see the vision. But there is a community there for it. Just like how we have now with, with the Titan Sessions, like, there's a community for this. And whether that's 1 trillion people or 1,000 people, but there is a community. And as long as you're authentic and you feel what you're doing, doesn't matter, man. Doesn't matter at all.
I think that's what makes mistakes valuable if you let them be, right? They're going to reveal something that success wouldn't. So let's get into these lessons learned from the mistakes. A lesson that changed how you move. Now, we talked about things mistakes revealed. So how does that transfer into a lesson that changes how we move? So if bad communication was revealed from my mistakes, like even if I talk about Bounce Gang, right? That was a conglomerate. We were all I Standard kids. This was 2017, Beats to the Beats in Atlanta. And that was such a time, man. Wound up being 21 of us total, from Risco, Funk, Spino, Dramatic, Midi Monsters, Chris Wells, Trey Cams, The Good Bro, Agami. I can sit down I can run down a list of everybody involved. Luke Rain, aka Trap Jesus.
Wow.
All the Parker. It was engineers, songwriters, artists, producers that came together and we grew every year.
Got you.
We got to the point where it was like 40 of us. Now this is going into the pandemic.
Crazy.
Now, like we're as strong as we ever been, and then the pandemic hit, the world changed.
Sure did.
I think bad communication is why we didn't sustain that momentum.
Would you say with that, like what could you have done differently, like as far as communication is concerned?
I think it goes back to reading the room, understanding and seeing all of the voices, right? And I think we were managing a world-changing event. Like people were dying at drastic numbers. The world changed as we know it. We're still not back to what we were
at all
prior to 2020
at all.
So, and I think we did the best that we could have possibly done, given the circumstances. But I'm always thinking, okay, what could I have done better in this situation?
Yeah.
Because for the record, I'm not the leader of Bounce Gang.
That's crazy.
I'm not. I think I might have been like the 6th or 7th person to actually join the team. And I think because I wore Bounce Gang on my sleeve. I really did.
Is this true?
I repped hard for everywhere I went.
Is this true?
You heard Bounce Gang before you heard AA.
Yeah.
I'm a big team guy.
Yeah.
So if I'm on a team, you're going to hear about the team.
That's it. Yeah.
And as a result of that, people thought that I was a leader. But Bounce Gang, we established from the very beginning, like, there is no leader. We all are in this thing together.
Yeah.
So even though I have certain skill sets and attributes I can bring to the table, I believe that I could have had better communication with everyone and to make sure that I understood where everyone was at and what they were feeling in that moment. Being in tune with that, I think we'd have been able to make it all the way through the pandemic if I would have taken that extra step. Now, I'll talk to other members, like they'll say, like, bro, that wasn't on you.
Yeah.
But that's just the way that I'm made up. I'm going to think that way. What I learned was stronger communication skills, even over communicate if you have to, just to avoid any type of negative feeling that could possibly fester and then spread. And next thing you know, it's dissension, it's rumors, it's he said, she said, it's misunderstandings.
It's always those.
So
he said, she said.
Strong communication is the lesson for me that made me change how I move with everything.
Got you.
Even with this show, I'm over communicating.
Here's
what we're doing. Here's why we're doing it. Here's the purpose. Here's the goal. Here's the aim. Just paint the picture. Even going into my role as a producer, this is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. Here's who involved. Here's where we're going. Do you need anything? Boom. Like, I'm just.
You know, it's funny you say that too, because when we were working, what record was that? Selfish? When we did Selfish at the session, the way you even set it all up and how you told me it was almost like you knew what the record was before the record was done. And I was like, it was just so simple for me to write and then record it, because it was like, okay, you know, AA or Thanos is all I can call you. Thanos said, it's got to be this. This is the tempo. It's going to be that, and you're going to be Jordan. And I was like, okay. I just executed based upon your communication. And I think that's also what makes it special working with you is that communication. I don't think I ever feel like I don't want to do something with you because of how you communicate. So I could definitely see how you know, that lesson being now how you move forward, because anytime you bring anything to me, I'm like, oh yeah, nah, AA, I got him. You know what I mean?
Better boundaries. Oh, in the music industry, how do you create boundaries? How does that work? You know, how can you create boundaries, especially when, you know, you collaborate? I think a lot of issues too that we have as collaborators is, and I don't think anything's wrong with it. I think that some people need to realize, like, hey, we work well together. I don't think we need to get a beer together. If that's the situation, that may be the situation with you and that person. Or, hey, I don't think we can do business together, but I support you in what you're doing. Like, I think that's something that for me had to come into play too. Like,
There are certain artists who, to this day, if you say to me like, yo, what you think of such and such? Oh, yo, they fire. Yo, they could do this. They're one of my favorite artists. Yo, how come you don't got a record with them? I don't have a record with them because we don't do well
We
together.
don't mesh well.
Right.
They're fantastic.
They're fantastic.
But we're oil and water.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm over here trying to make this happen. They over there like, nah, we should be, doing this, that, and the third. So I think that's something that has carried with me too, is recognizing your space. So if we're talking about boundaries, yeah, you got to be able to set boundaries, and you got to be honest. As authentic, it's always funny as musicians, as authentic as we are with our craft, we tend to not be as authentic in person, only to save face and to save feelings. And it's like, man, just call a spade a spade. There are people who I love to collab with, but I will never go out with. It just because it doesn't need to happen like that. There are people who I will hang with, and I just will not collaborate with them. I will be at every event that they throw in, and you will see me in, yo, Yuneer, yo, the elephant, But ask me to do a session, and I'm like, no. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely boundaries is important. And I think that we just need to really be considerate of each other's time, man. Like, respectfully. If we're gonna do a session together and we saying this is the set time, try to show up. Now I can't say that for me because today I was late. But no, I take something like that very serious too.
Right.
I want the people
People's
that
time,
yeah, like what?
It's professionalism in that.
You know what I mean? And not even just professionalism, but just courtesy. If I call you in to do keys, I'm not gonna have you just come in and you gotta bring all your gear. Hey, I need you for this session. I got this available, this available, this available, in case you don't want to bring your own stuff. Come through and same thing with you when you, hey, you need you for this record. I got my microphone, and I chose to say, cool, if you want this record done in the time frame, I'm bringing my gear. But just those considerations and looking out for one another and really taking that part serious, because these are superpowers. They can't just be all willy-nilly just thrown all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely agree with the boundaries part. I think that, you got to know who you are as the artist and know who you are as the person, and make sure you're honest to both.
Yeah, I like that. I'll throw in as well lessons that changed how I moved from moving too fast to being more patient. And then patience leading to having a deeper respect for the process.
Got you.
Because when you think about it, like you said in the beginning, I even liked how you put it. I looked at myself then as I am now, and I didn't want to do all the work that led to now. I wanted to be that then. So yeah, moving too fast. I think every creator had that.
Oh yeah,
moving too fast. So respecting the process and having patience is such an important thing, because a good song can happen in 15 minutes to a half hour. Sometimes it may take 2 weeks. Sometimes a great record may take 2 years of just messing around with different elements of the song. And then, you know what, I'm stuck, I'm gonna leave it alone. And then you leave it. You come back a year later with a fresh idea, a fresh outlook. Your ears have been cleansed of that session. And now you have a fresh perspective. And now it's like, all I needed to do was move here, and now it works.
I think who was it? I think it might have been like John Bellion. He was doing an interview, and it was a song. I think it's called "Ghost" for Justin Bieber. They were playing his demo, and as they're playing it, he's talking and saying what this part was, and he said this pre-chorus right here took like a month, or I think he said like a month or 2 months, and the pre-chorus is so small. And I'm sitting there just watching, like, it took you that long to come up with that? Like, I want you to know. That's all. It took you that long to say that part? I don't get it. But like you said, the process, right? Because we all, sometimes, man, the magic is just like boom, 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 boom. And then sometimes the magic is a lot slower. But at the end of the day, if you get to your destination, you won.
I think I had trying to remember the time frame of when we recorded Soul Still at Brewery in Brooklyn. I think I might have had the actual beat for a year prior to that.
That's crazy.
So again, it comes to patience on who to send that to as well too.
And then you thought of me? Oh
Yeah.
man. Oh
Yeah.
man.
So I sent it. So I sent it to you first.
Okay.
And you sat with it for a while. I was like, oh, maybe he doesn't have anything for it. So, I'm going to give my guy, Kyrie Sterling, a chance. This dude's tone is fire too. The funny part, he wrote a song based on the title as well too.
Oh, okay.
So, this is pretty dope. And then just when I was getting ready to say, you know what? I think we should do something with this. You hit me back with the record like, had to make a phone call like, bro,
oh man, no.
Kyrie, yeah, remember how I said I sent this to an artist prior to be sent to you? Well, he just sent me back the record and I'm about to do something else.
This is where I want to go now.
And I know he was like, yo, if I see Double A, I love him, I'm about to beat him up.
Oh nah, man, nah.
But me and Kyrie, bro, I promise we got some stuff covered, man. But yeah, that was a funny story behind My Soul. Like I sent it to you first, and again, mistake on not being patient. Like I'm trying to get this album done. All right, let me see. Get this guy a shot with it, see what happens. He writes them. It was pretty dope. But you did what I saw, what I felt, what I envisioned. I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna just have to repurpose what he wrote, create a whole new vibe around that, and then deliver that same energy and get that done. And that's the other thing that comes with this as well too. Sometimes you got to make a decision like that, and it might. You can hurt some people in the process. It's a tough.
This is true.
It's a tough job. So lesson learned: just be patient and wait it out. If you have an idea that you're very passionate about, and the conviction is there, like in your heart, your mind, everything is saying this is it.
Yeah,
sit on it.
I mean, but even in that though, right? Like, and I want to just touch back on that little portion where you were like, oh, but this is what I felt. Like those are the moments that I live for, like when it comes to doing collaborations with another producer. Because like I said, I could, and I'm sure, big shout out to Kyrie, I'm sure he wrote a great record.
He put his foot in that, and Kyrie is an R&B star.
I'm sure of it. If he's working with you, I'm sure of it. And you obviously you like the joint. And then what I did was something that was closer to what you felt the joint needed to be. And so that in that aspect, now your job is going to be taking what Kyrie did and finding what is going to make it feel as close to what it needs to feel with that record. And I think that's what I'm saying. Where I am right now is I just want you to feel it. You know what I mean? You could sit there and be like, oh, Yuneer don't have that much vibrato, or he, it almost feels like he's a little limited towards all these other R&B singers or whatever the case may be. And maybe I am to you as far as technique, but if you feel it, ain't nothing else we gotta talk about. I used to send acapellas to this R&B artist who I really liked a lot, and I was like, "Oh, you're fire," and they're like, "Yeah, you fire too," and I'd be like, "Yo, I don't think on the record I'll be as good as you, but if I send my acapella versus your acapella, I bet you it's gonna blow you out the water." And it was because at the time I didn't know how to mix properly. So a lot of things that people hear in songs would be like, they wouldn't even know. And then I send the acapellas and I'm like, yo, where does 5-part harmony come from? I'm like, it's been there. I don't know how to pan properly and things of that nature. So like, like I say, hearing great, I hear great all the time. Oh, this is a great record. Okay. And then the label's like, we didn't go with it. Okay. Now I can sit here and be like, oh man, I didn't do so well. It's like, no, you did great. They said it, you did great. It just didn't feel like it fit. So it's all about making sure that the feeling is there and trusting your greatness. You know what I mean? Like, and I've spent a very long time since you even know me trying to figure out how to trust myself, because it's been very difficult. Going back to those days before the pandemic, rest in peace to Moguls, to Hatch. I remember let me take a second for that. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Because it's for anybody who's watching this, if you ever got a chance to meet him, yeah.
The three of them with Hatch, Sis, and Don did with High Standard, not just the community that they created, but the opportunities for creators that they created that they don't get the credit for. Hatch walked a lot of our favorite creators into some great situations that we would never have heard of them on the main stage if it wasn't for him and what him, Sis, and Don did through iStandard around the world for creators. Matter of fact, that's how we met.
It is.
Engine Room.
Yeah.
We were at Engine Room. I think it was a still session. Shout out to Buddha and Gainz.
Buddha and Gainz. Yo,
we were at Engine Room.
Shush.
And Hatch doing what Hatch does. Now, I knew of you, but I didn't know you yet.
Okay,
I haven't met you yet.
Yeah.
Hatch doing what Hatch does. Yuneer, Double A.
Yeah.
Y'all two need to work together.
Yeah.
And walked off.
Yeah. That's
he says, Yuneer,
Yep.
Double A, y'all two need to work. And walked off.
Yep.
That's how it started.
No, it's true, man. And he always had a way of doing that. I remember we were in Atlanta. This is when we were doing the I rights, I guess. Or not the I rights, but aside from the I rights, we were just doing the writing sessions. And I remember, I think I attended like the first 3 in New York. I was at IMI. It was first 3 in New York. And then one day Hash just said to me, he was like, I need you at every session. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I need you at every session.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever, I need you at every single session. Like, okay, I guess so. And I started going to every session. And he's like, I need you to come with me to Atlanta. I'm like, all right. And I got to watch how he prepared for those writing camps, which I never took into consideration. So we get to Atlanta, first stop, we hop in a Lyft, we go to Target. He's buying the snacks. He's buying the waters. He's buying, and I'm just like, wait, what? And he's getting everything the way it needs to be set up at this specific studio. Hop back in the Lyft, load up, boom, get to the studio. We get to the studio, and I'm watching him set everything.
Was this at Bandwidth?
Bandwidth, yeah. Shout out to Willpower.
Yeah.
When it was in Atlanta. I think they're in Tennessee now. But just watching him and him knowing like, okay, so chairs need to be this way, especially if we're going to do a listening session here. As a matter of fact, I want to set up the chairs here. I only want 5 people on this side so they're not isolated from like all these these technical things. And I'm like, what? And I knew he could tell because at some point he was like, this is what it takes. You know what I'm saying? And anyway, the camp starts and I'm on fire at this point. Every writing camp, I'm
walking away with something.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm leaving with something.
You know what I mean? And for the first time, and he never spoke with me like this before. He's like, yeah, also with me, I got from New York City. I got Yuneer Gainz. He's one like probably the best pen that's in here. And like, so it was like, wait, what? And I couldn't create nothing. I couldn't even create a thing. Every room I went into, I was like, I can't create. And I'm freaking out. Whole time Hatches, hey, you want some pizza? I'm like, why are you being so cool? You don't want pizza? All right, cool. Hey, you want me to grab you something to drink? Nah, Hatch. She's like, are you good? Yo, Hatch, should I just? No, I said, where do you want to sit? And those sessions, I think we always did like 8 hours.
Yeah.
6.5 hours in, I go outside. I'm like, there's no purpose in here. I just look up, breathe, I go back inside. Somebody's playing something, and I'm like, oh, that's hard. I was like, yo, you guys should do this, X, Y, and Z. I'm not even writing a song. I'm just telling them what I think they should do with the record. Cool. Go in another room. Hear this other joint. Oh, I like this. This sound good. You should do this with it. And I end up with in a room. Shout out to my mans. We still have a project we have to work on. This powder man, this powder boy, this white boy. Yeah, what's up? My name is H&M. I'm like, all right, cool. H&M plays me this one joint.
Also, remember Bounce Gang one time for Agent M.
Agent M, man.
By way of Seattle, now in Atlanta.
Man. He played this one joint, and I was like, this sound like a West Coast joint. And it's just, everybody in the room is like, whoo! And it's just, and I just, pulling up on the I-5, and I just started making this hook.
I remember that.
Oh my gosh. That was in Atlanta. So I did that. That was the first song I did. And it's like 2 hours left now. Or no, an hour left now. And Hatch, it was like he just knew what it was. He already knew what was going to happen. Hatch goes and says, hey, so we're going to be here for another 3 hours. I was like, what? Yeah, I paid for it. What do you mean you paid for it? He's like, I was waiting for when you was ready. He went, added up 3 more hours, picked the producers that he heard or saw me with, and was like, I got 3 more hours to create. I went from not having a record to walking out with 20 because he gave me that extra.
So let's talk about that 20 number, because we also had a session at IMI in New York where, man, I think the hitters were in there. I was there. Tay Supreme was there. I think Grand BK was there. I think we did like 80 songs in like 12 hours. So it was something crazy. It was a crazy number.
The 24-hour session you talking about?
Yeah.
Bruh.
I think we did like 80 songs.
You might either be cutting it short or
I think
you might be on the money.
I think I might be cutting a little bit short.
Those sessions, shout out to Eli.
Eli was definitely there.
Shout out to Ruff.
Ruff was there. Man, I'm missing some. Please forgive me, y'all. I'm missing some people. My mind is blanking right now, but I have your faces right in front of me.
Javinci, Blanco, now Blanco. Shout out to Javinci.
Yeah.
That's that Latino Future, I swear down.
He is.
He is the Latin Future, the Latin Travis Scott, everything. That boy is cold, man.
Remember I first met him, I Standard Showcase at Drum.
Okay.
Big stage killing. Like, yo, who is this dude, man? All this Bad Bunny before Bad Bunny.
Yeah, buddy. Shout out to Blanco, man. Javinci, aka Blanco. Shout out to him, man. We were actually, Blanco, myself, and Ruff were gonna do a project, and we just never got to it. And that'd have
been special.
I was singing in Spanish. Like I was like, I remember Blanco was like, "Oh, you wrote that?" I'm like, "Yeah, brother, I do everything." But yeah, that session that you're talking about, man, I remember what it was like. Eli would always be in the sessions before we started. So you'd always have like 5 records before anybody. And I used to be like, what? Like, how he? And I just remember it just started clicking. I was like, okay, wait, I'm gonna start showing up and I'm gonna start going in. And it used to be these things where like he and I and Ruff, that's how it started. We would like, yo, I got 10 records today. Oh, I got 8 records today. Oh, yo, I got 6 records.
I remember that.
You know what I'm saying? But then that made everyone else. Now you got Joyce Woods. I remember Joyce Woods.
For sure.
Joyce started loading up the clips because I remember she used to only have maybe like
Joyce came in on some serious shy girl energy.
Yup.
And then I don't know which session it was.
Yup.
A switch got flipped
quickly.
And she came with all the spice, so much
quickly
that it stopped the room.
Yup.
When I say it, watching everybody evolve in their gift in real time,
it was real.
Such a beautiful thing to see. Real. And it came from those sessions. We all pushed each other to next levels.
Oh yeah, everybody, even the producers watching y'all be like, yo, I got this corporate. Oh, let me put the drums to it. Oh, yo, I got like
Sam Mandel was in there.
Mandel,
he come in with the guitar. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be it's a day. It's gonna be a day.
Sam is so goated. He's so goated. Sam is so goated.
Grinch. Oh man.
Grinch. Oh my, dirty. Shout out to Grinch. Shout out to P Dot. I still work with.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think majority of my circle of producers are all from the I Write camps because it's who? It's P Dot, Sam, Drewmatic, Andrew J. Miller.
Yeah.
Andrew J. Miller. Mark Shotta, Top Shotta.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Got waves. Who else? Yeah, like my whole little, like all the music. Oh, how could I forget?
That's how I met Destiny Nicole.
Hold up, how could I forget? Shout out to my Asian brother. Shout out to Bandit one time. Yo, Bandit is, I hope he gets back to the East Coast. I love what he's doing in LA, but I need him back here because it just makes it easier. Yeah, and then Tay Supreme, of course. Tay, you know what I loved about Tay? And big shout out to Tay Supreme. We haven't worked in a long time, but I loved how the energy that she brought, because everybody had was on fire doing whatever, and Tay was just like, hey, so I am her, just so we're clear, and I'm
verbatim.
You know what I mean? Like
verbatim,
just so we're clear.
And then presses play and like, oh yeah, she is. She's not for play at all.
Crazy,
not even a little bit. We did 4 days together on Titan.
Man, what was the? I think I did a joint at that same camp though. The same day you was talking about where we hit like the 80 or the whatever the big number was. I did a joint that you produced and she co-produced. That was stupid. We never finished it.
Was it called Anxious?
Think it was Anxious. I think it was Anxious. Anxious. I'm not. Yes, Anxious. The one I won't forget. I think my favorite record from there that was produced by you. Was it Strawberries? Strawberries.
Ooh. Yeah, that was different. That was a different approach.
Yo, we would do. Yo, we did. Yo,
that was different.
We all just stretched. Everybody was like, "I'm throwing."
We gonna throw it against the wall, see what sticks.
Oh man, cause I remember, man, cause Eli was so R&B and pop, and I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to stand out? You know what I'm saying? And everybody just was functioning at a different frequency, and I was just trying everything. And then I watched Ruff. Ruff went from rapping to being like, I'm gonna sing on these records now. You know what I mean?
Ruff became an overnight sensation.
Oh my gosh.
In these writing sessions.
Oh my
man.
gosh.
We gotta join him called Other Side. Like, yo, who is this dude? Just really transformed. Like, that's how special those things were, man. It really put us in a space to push ourselves, and we pushed each other.
Absolutely.
I think I touched levels that I wouldn't have touched if I had not been in those rooms with y'all. And I think that kind of goes for everybody that was there. Like, everybody continued to level. That's what made the I Standard community so special. We pushed each other to be great, and you're seeing it now. You see the imprint that Hatch, Sis, and Don left with that platform. Like, even if you go to Overlord Radio, shout out to Kelsey and Overlord one time.
Yeah.
Created a mega platform.
Yeah.
And a lot of that community is that I Standard community, but it's expanded. It's expanded. Like, everything that we learned from that platform, we implement it in our own way, and we're taking it to another level.
So I think then the biggest lesson that both of us then can say that we have and share is collaboration. Collaboration is the biggest lesson, because now we literally walk like that. We walk with that. We collab, and it's a beautiful thing, because you can push yourselves to be great, to be the best version of yourselves, and to bring out these feelings. And I think that that's the biggest lesson to give to anybody. Don't be afraid to collaborate, because everybody has a different ear and a different perspective, and even if they don't play your instrument or have the same talent, something can click. You know what I mean? When you're all working together, something can click and move you forward on your journey. So
Okay. So from the mistake, you arrive to a lesson, and once you really learn that lesson, that's where the growth happens and things can really start to move forward, right? So as we close this out, it's been a great conversation, bro. What do creators need to understand now? Now we are looking back and talking to our beginning selves. What will we tell ourselves now, being that we're seeing ourselves as aspiring creators then? What would be the advice that we would look back and give?
The advice I would give to Yuneer is, you're right.
I'm not mad at that.
You're right. You're right. Because I've been in so many rooms with people and watched others be like, that's not it. And now those people are where they are. Big shout out to Amnesia, who is now Amnesia. Because I was in the rooms.
I remember when she was Amnesia.
I was in the rooms. I remember in engineering sessions with her and her artist, and then hearing records where she's singing, and I'm like, yo, you don't just produce? Like, nah, I write a little bit and soft spoken and all that. And remember, she asked me advice on something about how I control the room, and then I just watched homegirl just go and become literally one of the best pens in our industry.
Literally.
Shout out to Julia. I remember when she was going by a whole other name. And I remember when we collaborated on a record. And I remember when everybody who I played that record for was like, she's all right. And then I went to her little show in Queens. It was a little show, not too much. And I was like, yo, she is special. And I kept telling her over and over, yo, you're special. Now that same Julia, who everybody was saying, I don't really get it, don't really see it, is now, Julia Wolf, who is the same young lady who had the big feature on the last Drake record with him and Yeet, where they sampled her and then made a hit record out of it. So yeah, my advice is you're right. You're right. If you feel it, you're right. And just go, dog. Just go. To all, especially all the women creatives, please, ladies, you are right. If something don't feel good, you are right. If something feels great, you are right. If this is what you want to do, you are right. If walking in this room, you get the ick from this executive, you are right. If walking into this room, you feel like this person got your back and is an advocate for, you are right. And for the young men out there, don't worry about not having a lot of money. Don't worry about not having the equipment. Don't worry. You are right. Bryson Tiller, Focusrite. We got R&B trap from that. You know what I'm saying? Steve Lacy, guitar, using a GarageBand. You know what I'm saying? Like Billie Eilish and her brother. You're right. You're right. As long as you feel it, you're right.
I'm gonna go with reflection matters. Pride slows growth. Where else I want to take this?
So
not every lesson needs to be learned the hard way.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a great one. That's a great one.
Sometimes paying attention to what others do, and that'll domino into a lesson can save you years.
A lesson could save you years.
Because imagine yourself just going in the same circle over and over again because ego, pride. You're trapped on this. You're trapped on the hamster wheel now. So that's what I definitely said to the aspiring creators. Don't have a lesson derail you because you refuse to adhere to that mistake. Like it's not a loss, it's a lesson.
Right.
Just take the lesson and apply it. Save yourself some time, energy, and heartbreak.
Heartbreak is because that will happen. As a matter of fact, shout out to Chris, my security guard I know at a dispensary. This is the last piece of advice I want to leave. Learn to counterpunch.
What do you mean by that?
Because life is going to hit you. Everything's going to hit you. Everything is going to hit you. You're going to have a plan, and then you're going to try to execute that plan, and that plan might not go the right way. You're going to get hit. So when you get hit, don't just accept the knockout, or if you think it's a knockout, or don't accept the fright. You already in flight. So counterpunch. You know what I'm saying? That is definitely the last piece of advice I would leave for my younger self, which I've learned as of late that is what has sustained me, is that I always counterpunch. I've never just sat there and been under attack and just ate. I'm done. No, I counter. Even if I gotta go to my corner, get some water, spit blood out. Okay.
And listen, if you don't know how to fight, better learn the 5 rules of dodgeball. Dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge.
Well, man. Yeah, that is serious. Yeah, learn that. Learn the counterpunch and learn the 5s. Yeah. For sure.
I hear that. So the final question for today, and I think this is an important one. A lesson that you had to learn the hard way that changed you as a creator.
A lesson I had to learn the hard way that changed me as a creator. I had to learn the hard way that I'm not a monolith. I thought all I would be good at is writing. And I learned the hard way because I spent a very significant amount of my life and years writing for a major and giving out so many ideas. And then the agreement that I had falling apart, where if I had just simply said to myself, hey, you don't just gotta write, you can top line these songs, you can put these songs out, you can record yourself, you can save money by figuring these little things out. And I think that cost me a lot because I didn't think I was capable of more. And I think that we all are. I think that I think there is a difference between an artist and a creative. An artist is standalone right here. A creative can go anywhere, right? You, sir, you're a creative. So yes, you are an artist in music. And now you're an artist in this. You're a creative. You're a producer in music. And now you're a producer of this. You're a creative. Creatives don't have roadblocks. They just have new routes.
I like that. See, that's how I know you're a writer, because you just so on that note, listen, if you know a creator needs to hear this, send this episode. If you want more conversation like this about the process behind creation, subscribe to Titan Sound Sessions. I'm your host, Double A. I'll see you soon.